Hey nerds, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Disney Channel original movie, Zombies. But before we get into that, I just want to thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Now let's get into this. So Zombies follows two main characters, Addison and Zed. One is a regular, schmegular, degular teenage girl in this small town called Seabrook, and then the other one is a literal zombie, and he's from like the west side or like Zombie Town or something. I don't know why I said west side, I just automatically assumed it was west. But anyway, so this story follows both of their journeys as zombies and humans try to come together as one. Yeah. And since it's a DCOM, it's a musical, so there's singing and dancing. Now, the reason why I decided to watch it after all this time is because I kept getting stuff on my For You page about Zombies 4, and I had never watched any of the Zombies movies because I had left Disney Channel a long time ago. I explain all that here in this video. Go watch it, by the way. I like it. You might like it too. But yeah, I explained my entire reason of not watching new Disney stuff in this video. And I was like, you know what? Let me see what the hype is about, because apparently Zombies 4 is the last movie in the franchise. So I was like, let's watch the first one. And I watched it. I have thoughts. So I'm gonna go through the plot, and I'm just going to share my thoughts that popped into my head as, you know, the plot was happening. So the second the movie opened, I was like, this is Descendants copycat work. The intros are literally the same thing. Like, if you put them side by side, it's the same format, same whoop-de-doo. And from first glance, the premise is basically the same as Descendants as well. In this case, Seabrook is Ordon and Zombie Town is the Isle of the Lost. That's pretty much it. And another thing, the backstory for the zombies does not make sense to me. And you know, at first I was following along because it was kind of reminiscent of like the Walking Dead bacterial outbreak, and then it lost me. Because this is my point. So, by basic definition, a zombie is a reanimated corpse that has a brain deficiency, you know, hence the hunger for brains. So are these zombies in this movie previously dead people who were infected by the lime soda outbreak? Did they die because of the outbreak and then they got reanimated as zombies? Like, they didn't cover that detail. They just said, oh, they turned into zombies because there was a lime soda phenomenon outbreak. Okay, but did it kill them and then turn them, or did they just turn into zombies? I need to know. and if they are previously dead people, how did they reproduce? Because you undead, like your organs don't work no more. Maybe me looking too far into a Disney movie, but also being a horror fan, I've seen so many retellings of the story of the zombie and how zombies come into existence. Maybe I'm just nitpicking just a little bit because this zombie backstory is tripping me up. When Zed comes onto the screen and he's addressing us and he's telling us what it's like to be a zombie, these words popped into my head: racism, segregation, redlining, and xenophobia. Just what I felt. And literally, like, one of the characters told a cop, like one of the zombie characters told a human cop, you're being zombie phobic. What else is that supposed to be? I feel like throughout this video I'm gonna like say what my thoughts were, and I know I'm reading too much into a Disney movie, but I can't help the way my brain is. It's just how it's wired. And again, this feels like a low rate version of Descendants. And the first Descendants came out 3 years before this, because Zombies came out in 2018, and by then we had already had Descendants 1 and 2. The first song that we hear in the movie, I thought it was okay. I will tell you this, it did not measure up to most DCOM musicals, okay? I was just like, it's cute. It's like it's there, but it wasn't like making me want to get up out of my seat and dance or like try to learn the words ASAP Rocky, but you know. And I told myself, I said, self, we're only like 5 minutes into the movie, give it a chance. And you can clearly tell that Milo is an amazing dancer and singer. Now I had seen him dance and sing in other stuff that wasn't Zombies, but this movie did not do him justice at all. So we get to the cheer tryout scene and I audibly said, hold on. And I zoomed in and I paused the movie and I was like, ain't that one girl from Zapped? And I'm like, she's playing another entitled villainous blonde? Talk about a typecast. Break it, Miss Thing. And to that song, in that scene, the cheer tryout song, what's it called? Fired Up, that's what it's called. This song wasn't too great either, in my humble opinion. But I will say this, everybody in that number, they was f***ing it up. they was eating the choreo down. They were getting it in that gym. I said, okay, the song is not that great, but the choreo, everyone was on their P's and Q's. That was actually good. So we get to the first football game of the season in this movie, right? And the fact that Zed's own teammate told the opponent, yeah, mess his up, I was like, you're on the same team. Like, you're risking your team losing because you want to be zombie-phobic and stuff and racist and stuff. Kiss that scholarship goodbye. Speaking of football, that football coach is the funniest character in the movie, hands down. Every time he was on the screen, I was cracking up. He reminds me a lot of the earlier stuff on Disney Channel where there were lots of diversity and black characters just being themselves with their comedic timing and how they, you know, delivered lines. It reminded me a lot of that. Not, you know, he didn't have the Disney accent, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, he was just being himself. So when they get to the rave in Zombie Town, and what is that song called? Hold on, I gotta look it up again. Zombie Block Party. It's called BAM. B-A-M-M. Why 2 M's? But okay. This song, it was laughable. Cause some of the lines just took me out of it. And I was like, what are they talking about? Especially when Addison said, girl, you don't know me.
I'm about to show you. What you gonna show me? Guess somebody told you. Girl, you don't know me. I'm about to put in work.
It's like, is that her first time speaking AAVE? I'm sorry. I'm gonna move on. And also, how was Milo doing that thing where he would like jump onto his back and then pop right back up? How'd he do that? And my question was, were they on like a trampoline? Was the floor a trampoline? They were just going like, wee. And if not, did that hurt or no? Because, so it took me until the Someday reprise to notice how nice Megan's voice is, the actress that plays Addison. Because up until that point, I thought her voice was very annoying. Okay, this part in the movie, this made me laugh. So, you know the little cheer trio, Stacy, Tracy, and Lacey? When they hit that twirl snap combo, Tracy, right? Is he the first openly gay guy character that we have on a DCOM? I wanna know. And I would say Ryan Evans from High School Musical, but I feel like he was still in the closet a little bit. But I was like, this is like a very like openly flamboyant male character, and I was like, okay. Oh, also I hate the school's colors. Like, I can't. Neon green and neon pink don't mesh together. That highlighter combo it made my eyes hurt the whole time. Wicked fans and AKA alumni, don't come for me. I'm just saying neon, specifically neon green and neon pink, no. Now if it was like a pastel green and pink, okay, that's fine. Even regular green and pink, okay. But neon green and pink, no. I had a headache, migraine on 10,000. So the next football game where Zed and his Z-Band went haywire. This shocked me. This shocked me quite a bit. They arrested them. The human cops arrested the zombies because their Z-Bands were hacked. Put them in handcuffs. And I'm like, damn. I said the only other time I saw someone get arrested in a DCOM was in Lemonade Mouth when they were, you know, trying to get the machines to stay in the school, but it didn't show them, you know, being put in cuffs and put in the back of the squad car. It just transitioned to the next scene of them in the holding cell. In Zombies, you literally see them get put in cuffs and they're coming out the back of a van. Hello? This is kind of dark. Well, dark, edgy. This is very edgy for a DCOM. So after the zombies get arrested and Addison's about to have like her breakthrough moment because she's so emotional. Girl, when she snatched that wig off her head, her mama looks so done with her shit. And then so when Zed gets back home to Zombie Town and his dad finds out about his Z-Band, he was like, that could have killed you. Aren't y'all already dead? Because like, you're zombies. You're zombies. And then fast forwarding to the end of the movie, like, you know, at the cheer competition, it was standard, you know, DCOM musical type beat. It wasn't nothing special, you know. They was doing the choreo, eating it up still. Song was still, I want to point this out. Whoever wrote this script or wrote this story for this movie, come here. So Zed, his name literally means zombie. Like in the horror genre, that is slang. Zed is slang for zombie. Did you even try? And also, so do you remember like in the beginning of the movie, in the first half of the movie, we have Addison and Zed breaking the fourth wall, talking directly to the audience, right? So when we get like halfway through the movie, they just stop addressing us. I'm like, are we not a part of the story anymore? Did y'all forget that they was supposed to be addressing us or some shit? Like what, where did we go? Y'all not talking to us no more. I want to touch on this, I want to talk about the songs a little bit more. First, why are there so many reprises in a DCOM? Like I have never seen this many. It's only 3, but still, that's a lot for a DCOM. I get if this was like an actual musical or like a Broadway something, but a DCOM to have 3 reprises in a DCOM, new. Okay. Like I said, wasn't feeling the soundtrack at all. I'm so sorry. Oh, one more random thing. So you know, zombie language, when they show it at the end, does that not look like Mandarin or Cantonese? Maybe it's just me and I'm sorry, but like, does that not look like Mandarin? Like language symbols? Like, does that not look like that? Anyway, I'm sorry. Yeah, overall, movie was not great. And I'm being completely, utterly, truthfully honest. The budget seemed to be very low and you could tell in certain scenes. Now, I know I keep bringing up Descendants, but I have a point that I want to make. And I want to say this also, I did not go into this movie prepared to compare it to any other DCOM that I may favor more. I went in with a clear, open mind, okay? And I came out disappointed. But when the opening scene is a carbon copy of the Descendants, like opening credits and opening scene, it's hard to not draw comparison. And the basic premise of the movie is damn near the same. So yeah, I was comparing and contrasting quite a bit. So now I want to bring up the topic of old Disney versus new Disney. This video one more time, my last time referencing it in this video, I swear to God. that is what this video is about. I talk about old Disney, the Disney that I grew up with versus the new Disney, and that's stuff like after, I would say new Disney is stuff that came after Austin and Ally and Jessie and Descendants. That's where I made the cutoff for me personally. I don't know if it's like there's a set, you know, era that I'm not following, but that's when I stopped watching Disney Channel. Like after Descendants, I was through. But anyway, let me get back on track. I think the reason why I don't like this DCOM is it's because it's made for the younger generation, and whatever was gravitating us towards DCOMs was definitely different from whatever this generation is gravitating towards. And I can't really place my finger on what makes this DCOM different and not in a good way. Well, actually, yes, I can. The music. I know I keep bringing that up too, but it's such an integral part of a Disney Channel original movie. And not every Disney Channel original movie was a musical, but a good amount of them are, especially the popular ones, you know? Music is such a big factor. And I'll say this, back in my day, back in my time. I remember when DCOM soundtracks, like songs from DCOM soundtracks, were being played on the radio. Not Radio Disney, like mainstream radio, 106.1 Kiss FM Dallas Fort Worth radio, that type of radio. This music soundtrack is not up to par with our faves, and I'm sorry to say that. I hate to say that. I'm not trying to be mean, but it's not going to measure up to Lemonade Mouth. It's not going to measure up to Let It Shine. It's not going to measure up to Camp Rock or High School Musical. Not even Teen Beach Movie, and that one was one of the newer ones, but still, I would prefer Teen Beach Movie, not to say that it's bad, but I would prefer Teen Beach Movie's soundtrack over Zombie's soundtrack any day. I would prefer Cheetah Girls 3 soundtrack over the Zombie soundtrack. Now, if you know me, I hate Cheetah Girls 3. Hate that movie. I'm sorry. That's a whole other video though. Anyway, I also want to talk about how woke this movie is, and not in the sense of how conservatives have twisted it and how Republicans have made woke to be a bad thing. I'll say this movie is very socially conscious. Now, I did say that it was a bit more edgier than the DCOMs that I grew up with, because it kind of sort of was. And it has the Zootopia effect, where it's like explaining racism and prejudice, xenophobia to younger generations, to where they can understand, hey, this isn't right, which is a good thing. Kids need to know this. And like I said, this one is a lot more edgier than the DCOMs that I remember growing up with. Like I said, we literally saw the zombies getting arrested, put in cuffs, all that stuff. We saw people like living in their racist and prejudiced ways, blaming this current generations of zombies because the past generations of zombies were more primitive. They were more like monsters than they are closer to people, like this generation of zombies is. And I did acknowledge that. I will acknowledge that, because meanwhile, while this story is a copycat and the music's not great, I will say it had some good messages in it. I will say that. And then briefly, in my old Disney versus new Disney video, I did say I would try to start giving like the newer Disney a chance, and this is part of that. Now, obviously, I didn't like this one, so I am not going to watch the other 3 movies in the franchise. I got a whole franchise. This generation must be eating it up, because I don't see the appeal. And like I said, maybe it's a generational thing. I do not see the appeal. It didn't do it for me. I didn't like it. So, yeah, if I had to rate it, I would say like a 4 out of 10. It was not for me, but yeah. But yeah, zombies. And I also want to point this out. It's kind of tough to follow Descendants, because Descendants is gold. It is gold, and it will forever be golden. Rest in peace, Cameron Boyce. But yes, that's my opinion, my review, my take on zombies. So that concludes our video for today. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. And if you made it to the end of the video, comment a zombie emoji. Real simple and stuff. Yeah. And subscribe if you want to. I'll see y'all on the next go around. Okay, bye.